Khalid Yaqoub. Inshallah, today I will be able to fill in the shoes of the Toastmaster that wasn't able to make it today. The speech that I have today is not prepared, obviously. So there are going to be a lot of stops, maybe unstructured speech, but I hope that as much as I can, that I get past those and I don't make these mistakes. The speech that I'm going to do today is something I've talked about briefly before. It was in a table topics session. It was a question about mental health. It wasn't specifically, about mental health. It was a question about what can we buy. What is free but comes with a cost. And I said it was mental health. It's free in our country, alhamdulillah. But it comes with a cost that people view you differently. They go, oh, this guy's mental, as a slur. So I want to talk about that. Mental health is not something to be taken lightly. Mental health basically hinders you. I remember when I went to Australia, I studied for a year and a half and came back due to mental health issues. The biggest reason is that when I went there, I had a problem with the preparations. So in the preparation, I was supposed to have an advisor that will have a place for me, accommodation. He will help me with filling my schedule for the university. And all of that was thrown away from the window because the advisor took a 10 days vacation and I had no one that I was appointed to. So I was left free. I had no idea when university was going to start. I wasn't prepared. I didn't even have my ID. I couldn't sign up for classes. And even when I did, I contacted my advisors. They had me go to the university. It was in Australia. I went to Australia the night of the first day of university. So it was hectic. I was mentally drained. I was not prepared. And when I got there, I had no accommodation. I had to find anything anywhere ASAP. And the next day when I went to university, there were no classes that I could sign up for. And I had to talk to the doctors to let them have me in their class. And even then, I had to have a clash in my courses. There was a 2-hour course for math. It was half calculus and half algebra. And I had discrete math. And 1 hour of the math class had to clash with the discrete math. So I had to leave the calculus and algebra. It was alternating, one day calculus and one day algebra. So I had to miss class every day. I had to miss one of them. And so the very fact of that I was not prepared, and there were things that pressured me that I started studying immediately, and I had clashes and I had so many things to keep up with that I ended up not being able to do so. Especially for the fact that I went there alone. I had no friends. I had nobody that I could talk to about the classes we're taking. So I wasn't on par with anybody. If I had missed a note, I missed it. It was gone. So I had to rely on myself. And before I went there, the very university that I chose, my family, you would think that they would be your biggest support. They all advised me not to. They told me, look, you're smart, but you're not a hardworking kid. You will fail. These exact words, you will fail. And they were not the only people that told me this. So I went there with the mentality that it's not very auspicious for me to continue. They all suspected that I will fail. And they were right. I did fail. But some of that I'm not gonna blame and go full on their fault, but anybody that told me that negatively was an external factor that made me unable to study. Some of you sometimes when you try to study, you feel like you're stuck, right? You open a book, you want to study, it's right there, you read a few words, but nothing happens, nothing registers in you, right? That's also caused by not exactly mental problem, but it's just you're so in your head there's something that's blocking you. And so for me, I couldn't study because I was so unprepared. I had these external thoughts that I'm not gonna make it. And I was alone, so nobody was going with me or coming with me to these classes. And for a whole year, a year and a half actually, I was in denial. I always thought, no, I have nothing, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. There's no such a thing as depression, there's no such a thing as a mental health issue. That's not me. And so when I did go to a therapist, they told me that I had something called adjustment disorder with depressed mood. As in, I did not adjust to where I am due to so many factors, and I was in a depressed mood because I was doing so poorly in university. I had no activities actually. I used to sit at home doing nothing, and that was a huge factor of how I got these, I guess, the mental illness. Now, some of you would think that, okay, so these are direct factors into how you became this way. Well, no. Actually, there are some external factors, such as when my friends and family told me that you will fail. Some friends do not mean to cause you harm, but they do anything. It's like when you have that one friend that always comes to you and just, man, I'm so bad at university. Man, this game was so bad. I'm not so good. And they just unload their negative thoughts on you. And that affects you badly. I had a roommate that basically, it's called, what is it called? Emotional manipulation. They would make me feel bad for not doing something specific. Now, my roommate had a tumor, and he used that card against me. That, oh look, I'm sick. Now you have to do this, and that for me. Yeah, and this was really bad. Actually, I spent that whole semester feeling really, really depressed. If you learn something from this, if you find any symptom of emotional manipulation, get out of it. And I cannot continue my speech due to being over time, so if you have any question about the mental health, I'll see you after the speech. Thank you.